Good morning, back to basics weight loss surgery people. It is Julie. I am your Monday vlogger. I am sorry for my red complexion. Yesterday I was out walking the dogs. See, you can even see my burn right here. Um, see? I was out walking the dogs on our new shoreline drive here in Asuncion and did not put sunblock on. It was 95 degrees out. Ooh, I'm red still, aren't I? Oh well, nothing I can do about it. See, look at my nice, literally a redneck right there. Okay, well, today, and I think for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be talking about habit and what a huge part habit plays in our lives. And the reason I'm talking about habit is I read this book. This book literally remade me think about how I look at how my surgery, my weight loss, how I look at food, how I relate to food, how I relate to work, how I relate to people. Because whether we know it or not, whether we are conscious of it or not, much of our life is driven by habit. And I'm going to read just a small section of this book. I really hope that the author of this book doesn't get mad at me. I'm really trying to do you a favor because I want people to go out and buy your book. So please don't get mad at me if I read small sections of your book. But I really, if you guys, I highly recommend the book. It's an easy read, but it totally opens your eyes about how we deal with things in our life. So, first question. When you woke up this morning, what did you do first? Think about it. When you woke up, what did you do first? Did you hop in the shower? Did you check your email? Did you grab a donut from the kitchen counter? I hope not. Did you brush your teeth before or after you took your shower? It's interesting, isn't it? I always do it afterwards. Did you tie your left or your right shoe first? Put your socks on, both socks on, and then both shoes, and then tie your shoes, or one shoe, one sock, one shoe. What did you say to your kids on the way out of the door? What route did you drive to work? When you got to your desk at work, if you have a desk, did you deal with an email, chat with a colleague, or jump right into writing a memo? Did you have salad or a hamburger for lunch? And when you get home, do you put on your sneakers and go for a run? Do you pour yourself a drink and eat dinner in front of the TV? Essentially, these questions are all being asked because we do so many things in our lives without thinking about them. The order in which we brush our teeth, the way we brush our teeth, how we eat, what we find is important, how much time we spend on the internet, how much time we spend watching TV, that kind of thing. And so, what is it that creates habit, and how does habit affect our lives? And I want to talk about that today because whether we know it or not, habit creates more of our compulsive eating, more of our binge eating, more of our ability to take away our willpower. And the reason I talk about willpower is that it's so often a huge part of weight loss, right? How can I get rid of the carbs? How can I walk away from the cookie? How can I start exercising again? All that kind of stuff. And for me, as a person who reached my goal weight and then gained 15 pounds back, I had to start looking at my own behavior and say, what was I doing that made me gain the weight back? What induced me? What caused me to overeat to a point that I had gained that much weight back in 6 months? Um, and how can I prevent that in the future? Right? Because I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to keep going through that cycle of gaining and losing and gaining and losing and gaining and losing and kind of mentally beating myself up every time I do it, right? Because we all went through this surgery. We all did, or going through the surgery or in the losing phase of the surgery. We don't want to go through this again. So I started looking up books that would be helpful to me, and thus I read this book, and it talks about this woman. He calls her Lisa, and Lisa, um, prior to everything, she was let's see. Lisa Allen, according to her file, was 34 years old. She had started smoking and drinking when she was 16. She had struggled with obesity for most of her life. At one point in her mid-20s, collection agencies were hounding her to recover $10,000 in debt. The longest she had ever held a job was 1 year. So, skip forward 4 years, and scientists are baffled by her because she has completely changed her life. How does that happen? It says in the book, almost 4 years, the physicians ask her, how long has it been since your last cigarette? One physician asked. Starting down the list of questions, Lisa answered every time she came to a laboratory outside of Bethesda, Maryland. Almost 4 years, she said, and I've lost 60 pounds and run a marathon since. She'd started a master's degree and bought a home. It had been an eventful stretch. So how does Lisa do this? And this is what the whole book is about. Essentially, it is finding that one small win. We're going to start talking about finding the one small win. Lisa just went on a trip to Egypt after her ex-husband left her. And she arrived in Cairo and was so upset about her life, she tried to smoke a cigarette and kept trying to light it and in the darkened room, and turned on the light and found out it was a pen. She'd been trying to smoke a pen. And at that moment, she stopped smoking. She just stopped smoking because she just quit. But it was a one small win for her. And I thought about the small win. What does small win mean? A small win is when you do something right. When you do that one small thing right, and you can build on it. For instance, during this last Back to Basics Transformation Academy Challenge, my mind was so totally not in it. I was just struggling to get in it and struggling to get in it. Read the book, and everybody was, in my group was so into the stepping and so into the exercise, and I was like, okay, fine. I will start using my Fitbit again, and I will start stepping again, and I will just start doing something. So I started doing exercise. Didn't really start paying attention to the calories, because if I look back at my MyFitnessPal, because the start of the challenge was January 1st and it just ended this past Saturday. If I look back at my MyFitnessPal where I recorded all of my food, you can see that, I was eating around 1,500 calories, which is not bad per se for me. It's not horrible, but I'm totally not losing weight on 1,500 calories. I'm just letting you know that. I won't lose weight on 1,500. I'll maintain on 1,500 calories, but I will not lose weight on 1,500 calories. So I started exercising, started running. My knees kind of felt yucky, so I started doing elliptical. I started doing all sorts of things, and I started enjoying how I felt after I exercised. So I was like, oh. And then everybody in my group was drinking water, and I was having the hardest time getting my water in. And I had been like the water queen for like years and years and years. Water was never an issue before for me. And then all of a sudden, I was able to drink my water. And then when I was able to get my water in, all of a sudden, I was able to reduce my calories. And it seemed as though every single step that I took, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to exercise right now. I'm going to drink my water and I'm going to lower my calories right now. No, it was a progression. It was, oh, I can exercise for half an hour. Oh, look, I can get my water in. Oh, look, I can decrease my calories. At the end of the competition, the Back to Basics Transformation Academy, I lost 6 pounds. Not bad. I mean, not what I hoped for, but not bad. It wasn't 0. But I learned a lot, which is a lot more than I had hoped for. So I hope, I don't know if I hope this is interesting, but this is what I'm currently talking about, is how we change our thinking, how we change the habits of what we do on a day-to-day basis. And maybe for you guys, if you're interested in this, start looking at how you can get a small win. One small win. I'm not talking a big thing. Instead of exercise, make yourself walk further than you have, or make yourself climb steps, or choose a salad for lunch instead of something with carbs. One small thing just for this week, and then build on that for next week, so that by the time you're done, you're going to amass all of these small wins together and you're going to be able to turn them into a huge victory. I'm going to be back next week and I'm going to talk more about how our relationship with habits. When we have a cue, we respond, and then we get a reward, and how that all affects us with food, especially when we're under stress. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great week. Bye.